Welcome back, guys. We got another frame by frame looking at the bench press here. So we have two people benching here, and we're going to start on the left side here with Robin. So one of the things that we see a lot, like, hey, it's a bench press. It's not that hard. You touch your chest and you press up, but there's a lot of nuance to it, and we're going to see probably one of the most common faults that we see in the bench. Maybe not the most common, but it's very, very common that we see this. And what we're going to see is Robin comes down here, she touches her chest, and then she's on her way back, and she looks pretty good so far. But then you're going to see this. All right, so watch the shoulder. See where it's at right now. I'd like to see more tension in the shoulders, those shoulder blades. Back and down, like that active shoulder position that we talk about a lot. And then you're going to see that she loses that, and notice how high her back came off of the bench and her shoulders went up. We're losing tension in that shoulder girdle, and now we're losing that tension, and we have load on us. So it's not ideal. And now we have to try and re-get that position. So what's happening is now that shoulder is not active anymore, and we're not going to have that pressing power. Now, when we're relatively light weights, we can kind of get that, and you can see the lack of tension. See your feet moving down here? Watch the feet moving. Again, the reason that that's happening is because there is a lack of tension. At the top of this position, you'll notice her back is pretty flat on the bench. What we want to see is a slight arch into that back. We want an active shoulder. Those shoulder blades are digging into the bench. They're backing down. That bar's going straight up. And then those feet are underneath of our legs, and they're pushing into the ground. All right, so we come over and check Sebi out. So notice what he just did there. See how he's kind of picking up and he's digging his shoulder blades into the bench? I really, really like that, and that's what we're looking for, right? And you can see how there's an arch in his chest here, very slightly. And you'll get it more when he actually lifts off. Here we go. So it's hard to tell with this shirt here, but we can see that the chest is a little bit more up versus here. You see how her stomach is kind of flat, where Sebi's is kind of pushed out. That's what we're looking for. And then when we come down, notice you can see his lat right here, like it's really active and turned on, and his shoulders are backing down. And then when he comes down, he hits that position, hits the chest, and now this is the money. This is what we like to see, is at the top, notice the shoulder didn't move. The shoulder blades are still active. He still has that arch in his back, and that shoulder, he didn't have that over press of the shoulder. The shoulder didn't go up, right? He's locking out with his arms, but he's not over pressing. That shoulder stays back and down, right? That right there, that's just that tricep locking out. Versus you see that shoulder, we can come back over here. You can see, that was her last rep, when she's coming up, and you see that up, like the back is coming up off of the bench, the shoulder is really high, and we're just losing all of that tension. So when we are benching, ideally, if I were to pick something on Sebi, is I'd like to see those feet underneath of him rather than out front. You can get a little more tension in those legs, but the shoulders spot on, looks really, really, really great. So you kind of want to, when we start, we want to dig those shoulders into bench. We want to keep them active. We want to keep them engaged, lift off, and when we're pressing, at that top of that bench, we want to keep those shoulders active. We want to keep them dug into the bench. We don't want those shoulders to kind of splay out and spill over to the outside of the bench. All right, guys, this is how you build tension. This is how you create muscle contraction in that bench. This is how you get stronger in that bench. This is how you get more results from doing the same movement. If we had the same person do 5x5 with that loose shoulder versus 5x5 on that strong shoulder, the person with that strong shoulder, with that active shoulder, they're going to get more results. They're going to get more bang for their buck for that movement. If you want results faster, this is how you get there. Hope this helps. If you think this would help somebody, if you have a buddy who's always doing this, that's always losing that shoulder tension, send it to them, share them. If you liked it, if you see something that you do, if you have any comments, please leave it. It's super helpful. And thanks for adding a tool to your toolbox today. Cheers.